Another factor that defines the type of partner you want is the unconscious desire for control, which leads you to choose a partner based on whether or not you will be able to control that person. That explains why, on many occasions, you hold back from finding your right partner. Because instead of focusing on the person who is best for you, you focus on those who you think you will be able to control, because they will not give you any problems. Ultimately, they are not going to be a challenge for you. Apparently, they are going to make your life easier. You will find the origin of this type of drive precisely in the situations that you experienced in your childhood and that you could not control. For example, if your parents did not control themselves in their emotions or in the way they treated each other, that will cause you to fear the lack of control you may have over a person. Usually, one parent exercises control over the other. The mother may be very sentimental and dominate the father through guilt, or the father may be very strict and dominate the mother through force or threat. All of us grow up experiencing situations of lack of control. If you think about it, you yourself entered into such relationships with others. Your parents may have exercised very strong control over you, but your siblings or friends may also have established a relationship with you in which, if you did not do what they told you, you would inevitably face some type of problems. And that is what, on a general level, causes all of us, on an unconscious level, to spend our lives looking for someone to control, which is nothing more than an illusion, because the problem that this drive generates in you is that although at first you are going to find someone whom you are supposed to be able to control, you are not going to realize that at some point he will to be your partner who is going to start controlling you. Throughout these years, I have had many cases of this type. But let me tell you about just one of them so you can understand how this dynamic occurs. My client was a person who entered into a relationship with someone who lived only to do her will. He was very helpful, not only to her, but to her entire family. If she told him to do this, that person would do it. But what happened in the process? Without realizing it, she began to generate a relationship of dependency towards her partner. And even my client's family also began to become dependent on that boyfriend that this person I am telling you about had. She entered into a relationship looking for peace of mind, but in the long term, that did not work. First, because she did not love that person. In fact, she did not even like him. But she repressed her erotic desire to be with someone who could do for her what she could not do by herself. If you notice, she used her boyfriend as a kind of sedative. Her boyfriend reassured her because she didn't need to worry about anything. She didn't need to work hard to be in the relationship. In fact, she didn't need to do anything. And her boyfriend was always going to be there for her. But in that process, she stopped evolving, which is something we are going to see when we address the topic of the type of partner you should choose. And at one point, what you can imagine happened. The boyfriend began to exploit the dependency that my client had on him. Every time she tried to be more independent, he became more eager to solve all her problems. And that caused her, at one point, to begin to develop anxiety, which was what brought her to my consultation. In fact, what she knew was that she always felt persecuted, but she didn't know why if she had an almost perfect life. And when we made the first consultation, we found exactly what was happening. That the dependency she had developed on her boyfriend was what was making her sick. Something that had been activated by that unconscious desire to control her partner. And the treatment evidently consisted of helping her end the dependency and recover her ability to take care of herself on an emotional level. Now, how this apply to you? Well, because as I told you, this is something that comes with all of us. We cannot escape this drive to have a partner to whom we wish to control. When that psychic generator activates, you will find yourself dreaming of a partner you can control. And that explains why you have entered into relationships based on this drive, which until today was probably totally unknown to you. So the idea here is that you become aware of how this drive operates in your own psychic system, how it leads you to want to have certain type of partners, which prevents you from looking for the real partner you want for yourself. To do this, I want you to take a moment and think about your own experiences. What kind of partners did you have on the basis that you wanted to control them, because apparently they weren't a challenge for you? And above all, when those partners of yours became precisely the people who controlled you, whether due to guilt, dependency, or other factors. The second thing is that you think and write down the people with whom you fantasized about having some type of relationship precisely because you thought they could be easy control.